Hello, this is Caleb. I'm here with Land Mining,
Hey,
and today we have a new tree farm to show you. It's this thing here. It is a 4-game-tick clocked oak farm, but the difference with this one is that it can handle, as you may be able to tell from the output, full height of oak tree with branches as well. I don't think there's any other fast farm that can do this for oak. Maybe there is, but I've never seen anyone release one. So I guess it's quite cool. For the rates, it's about 55.3k by our testing, which was like 20 hours or so.
oh, I worked it for 10 days on my PC.
Oh, nice. Well, so that's actually probably quite a confident rate then, because even after like 20 hours or so that I did, it well, you still got yeah, I think you did. So, but even my test, it was still like changing after 20 hours quite a lot because of how random this tree is. The MSPT is really quite good on a good server. This was running about 4 ms, 4 to 5 ms.
Without a roof, that is also.
Yeah, without a roof, but it doesn't really need a roof because, well, we've had to roof the tree chamber anyway to elevate up saplings.
Oh, it still goes. Skylight still goes through. So.
Oh yeah, hoppers, yeah, not much. And also, most of the log transport it happens on the bottom here, because like these 4 are actually the oh actually no, it's 5, isn't it? So these are the 5 most common logs, and same for the other side, because they're the actual trunk. All of the ones up here are like trunks from big oak and branches. I guess next we'll show you the layout, which is this here. It's, well, a pushing layout, and it's based off Hungary's birch. And pretty much because we were kind of pissing around and we're like, I wonder what happens if we try and run oak through birch farms. And Hungary's farm didn't actually break that much. So we sort of added some push limiting. You need to push them at like this block, these, and all this. Anywhere where pistons face each other. And we also added stuff to catch more branches and keep stuff inside the farm pretty much. That's just what these pistons are for. And it works, I guess.
Yeah. So it works because it can't break. There is.
Yeah.
You can fill in the entire 5x5 in here with logs, and it will harvest all of them without breaking.
Yeah. That's probably its main feature. It's incredibly robust. So that does come with a price. It doesn't actually get that many logs, because these logs around in this ring here, these 8 are obviously the most common. Like that's fairly easy to sort of tell. But these are the best logs to harvest, and we only get 1, 2, 3, 4.
Half of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get about 50% of the main branches, and that's not counting the fact that you lose more than that due to other stuff growing into them and whatnot. And these outer branches are really quite negligible. There's not much point to actually go for this piston here or these. They add a few hundred an hour. If you really wanted, you could have more. You could have that and that would make it even faster.
The other side as well, but that doesn't even reach 100 logs per hour.
Yeah, it's super rare. You'll see a load on that farm over there of logs on the side and be like, oh, that's totally harvesting. It's not, because that's after it's been warped for a million years. So yeah, there are better layouts that are possible, definitely. You can definitely improve this with just retraction layout if you can make one. That would probably just by design get more logs. But we couldn't really come up with one that was as robust and hard to break as this. So that's why we use it. And and also this layout can obviously handle birch, which it does at the same speed as our birch farm, 60k. And in theory this handles acacia. Acacia doesn't crash in this. It obviously doesn't if it can harvest an entire solid thing. But you don't get enough saplings with just the pistons we've got at the moment. If you were to add more pistons just kind of around here and stuff, just DPing around and whatnot, you'd probably be able to get saplings on acacia, and it works, but it's like 40k, so you're better off using an actual acacia layout than this, in my view anyway. We can probably move on to redstone now, like anything we did in specific, which is interesting.
I go show harvesting first, though.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. We'll go. You have command saved, right?
Yeah.
Excuse for 1 FPS. This is a very powerful farm.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Just filling in all the.
It's not even a contest. The trees.
Logs get extruded at 4 game ticks per log. Very OP.
Yeah. And this sort of extra like log harvesting doesn't actually block growth either, so it's actually worth it to do. And another thing that I just remembered is these piston stacks here, which actually harvest the logs, like or the like branch harvesters, are only sort of 3/4 of the height of the farm, because you don't actually need them to be the full height. Like branches can only start growing from like the 4th log, and can't grow up to be the full height of the tree. So we just made these shorter to save lag and just save lag and piston and whatnot. Yeah, I think now we'll talk about redstone. So we've had to make a bunch of stuff for this. I think Land should talk about this because he's the one that did it. These bits on the corners for block event generators.
So yeah, down here, because these 2 pistons are so long and you need like 4 block events on them, there's no way to wrap that with pistons. Also because these stacks are already 12 high, so you're at push limit, there's nothing you can do. So we have to go and get creative with block event delay generation. So what I came up with was update the pistons with this rail, and then just to generate the block event on the rail, we 0-tick up redstone block up and down. And we just do a clock that at 4 game ticks with enough block event delay. And I don't know, that's about it. Yeah. We sync it to when the observers come down.
Yeah.
And it just works.
Yeah, and we have a similar one on this corner as well, which is the same principle, but even more spaghetti wired.
Yeah, so it's the same principle, I guess, but it's actually wired off the. It's wired off the one of the snacks. It's wired off the snacks that power the branch harvesters. But it's the same thing. The rails just update the pistons for the main DP powering.
Yeah. And another thing we did, which may not be immediately obvious, is we put all of this glass here, which has 2 effects. The first is it stops branches and stuff growing out here in these blocks, which they will do. Oak gets massive, and updating these pistons. Because if they get updated in the wrong moment, they'll schedule a tile tick on themselves whilst at the top. And then when we get pushed down, they will no longer 0-tick the piston, and they'll keep on doing that indefinitely. They don't like self-correct. And that's also the way you make 4 game tick stacks. You trigger the piston 2 game ticks before, not piston, observer 2 game ticks before you push it. And the other effect that this glass has is it works as an item elevator, and it keeps pretty much all of the saplings contained within the farm, so they just elevate up onto the roof through our like 5 million miles of log here, and into these hoppers, and then we just collect them and move them down. We get almost
collecting the top is almost enough. We get like 9k, a bit over 9.5k saplings, just on the top. And we just put some hoppers in the core to finish up to the 11k trees per hour or something like that.
It's like 10.5.
A bit under.
We went for more saplings, and we would like definitely enough saplings. And our apple extraction solution is we just have a sorter sitting
beautiful.
Here. It is
instead of sorting the items previously, because we would need like 2 sorters, since we have double double hopper speed flow items. We just drop everything onto the player and we sort out the items with a hopper, or the apples, and player would just fill his inventory up with saplings.
And they go into apple storage here. So you can attach like a shulker box loader or whatever if you really want apples. I've personally attached a cactus.
Yeah. Since, I don't know, 1/8 who needs apples.
Yeah.
Then we have for the bottom log extractor wiring, we do something similar to our birch. We use this 4-game tick gen where we just zero tick some block back and forth. But we do it for the both pistons, and here we add some slime because we can't directly power the piston into a block here, since it would mess with the DP and the piston would get stuck out.
Yeah, that we were originally doing that, and it cost us like 300 logs an hour. So we changed to this setup here. Next, I think, is probably the log transport. That's sort of, yeah.
Okay, so log transport just starts out by bending logs twice with these OP stacks for powering the pistons. Cool. Yeah, but they break, so we just reset them on starting up the farm by doing that. Yeah. But yeah, so what we do is we just push them over again together into wither cage is the basic principle. But this is easier to show if the farm is actually running. So if you look at the main wall of pistons, you can notice that they are not very well timed as well. That's what it looks like, I guess. But that's basically just because in the middle part, we are pushing logs in directly. So we need to time these pistons 4-game ticks offset from each other. Because the other ones first get pushed over and then down, these just get pushed over. And we have to do that the same for the last one, because basically to move the log transport 1 block lower to fit in with the other one, we just push the log down and back in.
Yeah.
And since these are all for 20-game tick wither cages, that's all fine.
Yeah. Well, you can only actually use 20-game tick cages. These wither cages are not actually massively perfect. They work though. It's for just some slime DPs. You don't actually need to DP the slime bar every time. You could just push it out and then clock it back and forth every 20 game ticks. That also is perfectly safe. We just chose not to, or rather, I was too lazy. They have the safe start system Smoky show. It works every time. It shouldn't break, at least. It mathematically can't break, but if you manage to break it, let me know. I'll be very confused.
I got another special piece of ironing is the bottom log. How we get it in?
Oh lord, this thing. Yep.
Yeah. So we have 4-game tick stream of logs here, and we need to get it into the 8-game tick cages in, I don't know, as TCO as possible. But it's also mistimed from all the other logs. So we basically have to first push it over and then push it back in to get it in sync with everything else. And that makes the powering of everything else very simple. And I don't know, we just push it up and in. Very easy.
Yep. And that also does lead to this piston ball back here being a slightly weird shape, with this piston sort of being one further back from all the others. Yeah, I know.
It works.
If you don't like it, you can do your own log transport, of course. This probably isn't strictly optimal, but it's pretty good.
Very functional, of course.
Another piece of wiring which is needed is these here. Like these rail lines across the roof might just look like extra lag for no reason, but we need them for the update order. Because they trigger these observer stacks, which power both the DPE, like the main sticky piston DPEs, but actually harvest, and the piston opposite them. And if those are not sort of got the correct update order, the DPs will sort of break. Like,
so what
they
happens
just break.
is
It's like they shuffle logs back and forth rather than actually
what happens is you get a bunch of logs in the middle of this piston stack right here and the DPA across it. And then if this piston stack would be to update before the DPE, what would happen is the piston that would get extended out, but then it get pushed back by this piston stack here, and it would just get shuffled back and forth by the main pistons of the DPE and this piston, and it will never desync, and the logs would just get stuck there. So we fixed that. Well, there are actually two ways of fixing it. First way we fixed it was we timed these pistons with 16 game ticks and let the DPE resync itself. But like super rarely, you could get that while the DP was resyncing itself, a log could grow in it, and then pistons would just get pushed out and harvested. So we had to fix it by just having correct update order. So in that way, the DP will always be the one to fire and not this piston stack.
Yeah.
And that's the correct way of fixing it, the stable way.
Yeah. Because, and the reason we can't just use block events is because these are observers. They power in tile tick phase. So you can extend their zero tick with block events, but you can't delay it.
Okay, we need to not directly power the pistons and somehow wrap block event delay there, but practically impossible.
Yeah, that would not. There are ways, but it just wouldn't be pleasant.
Yeah.
Much more laggy than just having, like 20 extra rails in your farm.
Yeah.
What else is there? Oh, not really much else, I think. Oh, well, as we can talk about what can be improved. Well, as we said before, the layout can definitely be improved on this. Like, it's sort of the first go I guess anyone's ever had at doing this type of farm, so you can definitely improve the layout. By how much? I don't know. Maybe you can get, I don't know. Well, so the maximum theoretical is 63k or so for
62 more so 62.
Yeah, 62 or 63k for just oak in general with 3 dispensers. You can't get much more than that. So you're kind of
triple dispenser, single core, 4 game tick.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually doing. And if you go much better, you probably won't get past 60. I think 60 is doable with like a really good layout. Like a really, really good layout for game tick 3 dispenser could do 60. And I think with 4 dispensers you could go really fast, because maybe you'd be able to force height then, but I don't know. But forcing height, probably not worth it, because it doesn't actually force bigness, it just forces the normal oak to get bigger. Which, yeah, probably not worth it. Considering normal oak is sort of just,
you also get a bit higher chance of getting bigger by it.
Well, no, not really. Well, yeah, it would increase the chance slightly in that small oaks would fail, but not by much.
But
it's still a 10% chance per growth attempt.
I don't know, ideal would be like 10 core, all forcing big oak.
The ideal would be N core. You just, you're riding along in your minecart planting 500 trees. Very good.
Yeah, good.
No, boring.
True.
So,
you could probably improve the wiring on top a bit. I don't know, it's super annoying to work on, and it worked. We didn't touch it after it worked. And save for the on-off line, it worked. We don't touch it after it works.
The clocks are also all technically unsafe, which is why like these stacks like break and stuff. On by break, what we mean is It will work on
They
the
get
farm is
stuck
on, but
down.
when you turn it off, yeah, it just stays down here. Because like
Oh,
when the
yes.
clock gets turned off, you can get double pulsed, and rather than rewiring all of these clocks, which is like 80% of the farm, we are lazy, so we just added observers but push them back up as the farm turns on, and it works fine. There's no ill effect from that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the only other thing is we've added very ghetto box loaders. Like you can definitely improve this bottom wiring. Like these box loaders are just kind of whatever we could be bothered to add. They don't have like box detection and stuff. It's just
Yeah, you don't need that basically.
if you want, you can add fancy ones, but we don't really care.
You can just take the ones off birch if you want that.
Oh yeah, the birch ones have sort of rudimentary box detection. It doesn't always work in my experience, but it works most of the time. So yeah, that's it. We'll download in the description. Maybe a litematic in the description if people want it. That's it. Bye.
See ya.